Hello and welcome back to the PGL America's Minor. It's Misfits versus Pain in the fourth game of the day, and all is on the line for these two teams. Whoever loses this best of three goes out and will not be setting foot at the major or the major qualifier. My name's James and I am joined here once again. Chad, welcome back. Feel like you're spending a lot of time with me here on the desk today.
A lot more than yesterday, that's for sure.
Yeah, but is this the first time you're on today, Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the last.
Yeah.
First and last.
Yeah.
I'm here with Sadikist as well.
Yeah.
How are you guys doing? How are you doing, firstly, since it's your first time on the desk? You feeling good?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that being Misfits is always painful, and this game's going to end painfully for one of these two teams.
Have you boys been enjoying casting together?
Yeah.
It's been nice to listen to.
With a new power duo, I think.
Bump it. Cool.
Pump it. The song by Black Eyed Peas. Anyway,
Okay.
Matt did touch on something very unique.
Sure.
He
Okay.
did say this is a misfit of a matchup.
Yes, he did. He made a very
It's
good.
an appropriate name for a team with two stand-ins.
Do you want
Yes,
me to
that's very
explain
good.
why it is a misfit of a matchup?
Yeah, please do. Please
We
do.
have one team who has recently had a roster change, replacing Shazam, getting in ZQK from Brazil, who has gone through many roster changes over the last couple of months, and they haven't really reached a point where they stabilized. They had some okay results. And then you go up against a team who, I'm going to be completely honest, none of us know anything about. Makes it very difficult for us to do our job right now, and sure, we might only have ourselves to blame. But we can only analyze on merit. And what we've seen out of Pain Gaming so far is a 16-1 loss, a shellacking, a spanking.
Ooh, powder that bottom.
And no one likes that.
I do, actually.
Who are we looking at first? I think it's probably Misfits, I believe. No, it's Pain. It's Pain. Okay, so as we talk about Pain then, do you not feel like, since they've just lost 16-1, that they're going to want to try and prove that they can actually hold their own at this kind of level? They're going to be reinvigorated going into this second match?
Yes, obviously they're going to want to prove that, but whether or not they do, that's a different question, isn't it, James?
Yeah.
Precisely.
Do you think it could give them the edge, that they're going to feel so much more motivated by that?
I'm not sure. I would have thought maybe coming into this, I didn't know anything about them, like Chad said. They would go up against a team like Misfits, who's in a bit of a disarray right now, and have a chance. But based on what I saw in the last game, and what we saw from them this morning, I'm led to believe that Misfits actually has the edge in this.
Really?
Yes.
I know that they went up against Plow9, who were just running over them on that T side. The aggression was showing, Scudoodle even getting clutches. So for them, it was difficult to go up against the best team in this tournament, in my mind, and expect too much from them. But starting on the CT side and only getting one round, that's going to feel pretty gutting, right? You're not going to be happy with that in any way, shape, or form. It just means that we don't have a lot of material to go off of, and all you're basically talking about is mentality. And as Matt said, of course they want to win. They're going to try to win, but whether you see anything good or bad out of them, we have no idea. I know online they're able to put up some decent numbers against lowish, midish tier American teams, like I mentioned before, Splice and Ghost Gaming, for example. But on land, in this environment, they are going to be the nerves, right? There's going to be all those kind of factors, and nothing like that is going to be going their way. But to look at the Misfits lineup, Matthew, you have to look at the two players they've brought in from France, two relatively inexperienced players in Amanek and
Devo
Yes.
Devo
Duvek.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Devo Duvek. I thought it was just Devo.
D-U-Vec.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're relatively unexperienced on this kind of stage as well. And then you've got the likes of Sick. And Relic's a player who I thought was going to be a star. When he was left alone by Kusta and Selfless, when Kusta left, he looked like he was the one who took over the fragging capabilities. But since then, it hasn't really been the case, and he's now been moved to the sub position for this roster. Sean Gare's not here to lead them. And they've brought in ZQK, who is an AWPer that was playing back in the day with the likes of Fallen. And he didn't really impress either. I thought Amanek was more impressive in our matchup that we casted, Matt, with the AWP.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think there was something to take away from it. But again, it's actually just what I think needs to step up a little more on this team is Sick.
Yeah, I agree.
I think TSM days, the Semphis TSM era, obviously, with Automatic on the team. I think at ECS, Sick was just as good as Automatic in that tournament. ECS
nice.
Season 1 finals at Wembley Stadium in London, England, or Blighty, as some people refer to it as, James. Sick was actually pretty good. I won't say he was pretty sick, because that's just really obvious. But he's never had that same form once. And I'm kind of disappointed, because I really expected good things from him after that event.
He has dropped off quite significantly.
And they're probably going to want to give CLG a run for their money as well in this next round. Whoever wins this goes on to play CLG. They're they're probably really raring to go and eager to play again against them in a best of 3. That's probably going to motivate them, right?
COG seem to be their own worst enemy right now. I don't think they'll have either an issue disposing of either of these teams when we get to that next best of 3, right? I think it should be relatively easy for them. This one here, though, is going to be the messiest best of 3 of the day. It's going to be a brawl. It's going to be some sloppy Counter-Strike, and I think it's going to be some all-in, not defaults like we were talking about before, Matt, because both of these teams...
rushes and fast-paced play.
I think both these teams will be doing set executes, because the best thing you could do when you're a mixed team, like this Misfits squad, is just to either let your individuals thrive by taking chances, which means we're going to be seeing more rushes, more instinctual plays, or doing execute, set pieces, so you already know what you're doing when you're leaving spawn. There's no communication errors in the middle of the round. And I think a team like Pain, sure, they might like be able to default and stuff, but I think the way that they're going to be best suited is to get their players fighting, get them in the midst of it, get the action happening.
What kind of maps are we expecting these two teams to thrive on?
Don't ask me that.
So we actually...
Like from a mixed team...
You could have an idea chat with Misfits, perhaps.
We have a dartboard set up out the back.
Dartboard?
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to throw 3 darts, and whichever... We have no idea, right? I did have a little look at like the teams and what they prefer, but in this kind of situation, it's ban, pick, right?
I got a better idea.
Yeah.
How about you stand in front of the dartboard with an apple on your head, and I try and hit the apple?
So I don't want to cop any arrows in the eye, but I think someone who... I think a map that... Even though they got 16-1 on it, that would lead me to believe that Pain wouldn't want to pick that again. I think they'll let it through. It might be, banned in the second phase. Maybe it could even be the remaining map. But to lose that badly is one that you wouldn't want to be playing again.
Especially not in this tournament.
Yeah.
This is a do or die for them. This is a big chance to try and step forward. That's what the minor system was originally intended to be. The first round really was that because you still had invites to the qualifiers because there was no previous system in place. We saw teams, basically Epsilon, come through here as cringe gods, and through different iterations, they now are Epsilon. For them, this is a chance. This tournament, this is the team of all the teams that are in this that could actually use this as a springboard.
This is how you start making cash, right? This is how you start milking that cash cow.
Yeah, I mean, obviously teams like Cloud9 and stuff, they're just in an unfortunate situation where they have to play it again. Same as CLG going through a rebuild.
Yeah.
But for these guys, this is the first showcase they've really had.
So that dartboard has been set up. They have thrown those darts, and this is what we've got.
They
We've
didn't
got
hit Chad
first
in the
map.
eye, at least.
No, they didn't. They got the apple every time. The first apple was Overpass. Second map will be Train. So Pain Gaming chose Overpass. Misfits map is Train, and then if we need it, Mirage will be the decider.
Looks like Misfits are picking into a weakness that they saw come out there, right? That's what you'd be doing by picking up Train. It's a map where on the T side, you can just do those inside executes and that kind of stuff. On the CT side, it can get relatively disjointed unless you're doing like a 4-1 setup every round and not having to worry about rotations. If you're making the frags before they're even getting onto the bomb site, that's the best thing you can do when you have 3 different nationalities in a squad and a lot of different language issues. I'm sure they're going to come in. Nuke being removed, and then Mirage would be the final map coming in. That's normally a Brazilian home map, so Pain wouldn't be too unhappy with that, I'd assume, just based off the fact that most Brazilian teams thrive on this one. So it's going to be interesting to see how it can pan out for Pain. It's hard to have any hope based off what we've seen, but you never can rule a Brazilian side out, can you, Matt?
No, you cannot. No. I did that once and only once, and that was Mirage versus Cloud9 X Games, and they came out and trounced them 16-4. And I said, these Kaboom guys are good. Turned out they
had some really good executes back then.
Yeah, that's what all they relied on.
Yeah.
They didn't have the depth, though. They were a best of 1 team up until they got rid of Bolts and Steel and brought in Taco and FNX. That's when they became a best of 3 team.
That's true.
Yeah, and lost 0-16 at DreamHack Winter, and then went on to make the finals against the same team that 0-16 them, Fnatic, and lost, but came second.
That's some good.
And then I said, these guys could be #1 in the world. And everyone laughed at me, and then
You tried to do an Anders.
Absolute
so
genius.
you made a prediction and it came true.
Yep.
Talking of predictions that could come true.
Yeah, it's going to be painful.
It's going to be painful. Is that
painful? They're going to lose.
3 maps, ugly Counter-Strike. It's
going to go all 3?
It doesn't matter who wins.
It doesn't matter.
Chad's invested in this game.
Yeah, fair enough.
Both emotionally and professionally invested. There you go.
I'm professionally invested, that's for sure. I'm going to analyze the game.
That's fair. I'm probably not.
But in terms of going up against COG in the next round, both of these teams have a very tall task, Matthew. Unless they inspire me right here, I will not waver. I will not falter.
It's very valiant of you.
Cool. So I think while we wait for both of the teams to get ready, and
questions,
we have some social media questions from Reddit.
Got my Snickers.
Chad's so
ready.
excited he's banging the table. The first question is: should CS:GO have a larger map rotation?
I thought it said something about Shroud, and then I dropped my pen out of frustration. I don't want to answer any more Shroud questions. I think
Thank you, Spaces Fun, for the question.
Okay,
there's an argument for and against. Matt, which one do you want to be?
You go first.
I think Counter-Strike should have 9 maps.
Okay.
Right? But not 9 maps in every tournament. We have a seasonal rotation of maps.
I completely 100% agree.
Do you think we do it quarterly? Do you think we
you do it each major rotation?
So, okay, so biannually.
Yeah, at this point, biannually, yes.
We're assuming biannually.
Yeah, you could do it. You could do it yearly as well.
You could do it 3 times a year, actually.
Well, we don't know that there's gonna be 3 majors anymore. That's
No,
not been
what I'm
confirmed.
saying is, though, because in the lead up to this major would be 1 set, and then after this major's over, into the lead up to the next one. So it would be 3 times a year.
Yeah,
Almost 3 times
exactly.
a year.
It
Some
kinda
years it would be
carries
2,
over.
some years it would be 3.
Yeah,
So for
calendar
each-
year you would have 3, but one of them would carry over through the new year.
So each set would be 9 maps, or it'd
No,
be
no, no.
9 maps?
No,
and
7 maps,
each-
but you
yes.
rotate into and out. So, like,
Right, okay.
so let's say Tuscan were to come back in a proper remake,
And we
you
have
could-
Dust 2.
Yeah, and you have Dust 2 that would come back. I think there's more than that you could go to.
could?
I think Fire with some work could actually work for CS:GO. Get rid of that stupid mid boost you have to do as a CT. Let CTs get more aggressive in mid. I think someone actually has
Just
done
a
that, but
very
I haven't
big
seen
map
it.
match, just
No,
very
but you
big.
can cut off the whole back end where like the basketball courts were and everything.
Yeah, that
Get
was
rid of
pretty
all
silly.
that. There was no need for that. The timings were completely ruined. I remember being CT and you literally wait for 30 seconds before anyone got to you in 1.6. So yeah, so just get rid of that. I think that's why I say that. I think the core part of the map could actually be reworked. I think someone actually did it and I haven't seen it. Someone told me someone did.
Okay.
But the point is you got those maps and then you just bring them in and out. So let's say Cobblestone is in this rotation. Boom, it's out. You know,
So you
Tuscan's
change.
in.
I reckon you change 2.
Season could even come back if they fix the jail
If you
rotation.
change 2 every
Why is it-
rotation.
Why only 2?
I think 2 is enough because let's say you had 9. Let's go on to the assumption you have 9 maps, right? Every time it rotates through, you change out 2 and bring in the other 2, right? And you just keep that kind of going. And that means that you're going to see different dynasties of teams running in because different teams are going to have different map strengths. And I think that's going to be an interesting way, or could be an interesting way for, Valve or tournament organizers would have to be Valve.
In some ways, I know where you're going to go. You keep the solid meta for some teams, but some teams, like, for example, were really good at Nuke. When it left, they kind of dropped off. They never got used to the new map. It gives them a chance to get sort of that I don't want to call it free kick, but a chance to learn a meta that other teams aren't necessarily as practiced on, don't rely on, and then bring it into Vito's as sort of their curveball. In some ways, we kind of do have the rotation because just by stroke of luck, we have had Dust go out, Inferno come back. We've had some changing of the guard, but I still think there's more maps that could be brought back that are not being played. And I think there's about 5 of them, honestly.
Do you think that could put too much weight on like people knowing the newer maps and winning purely because of that?
No, because everybody. So this is the thing. I think something like
It's
this
fair
would
for all
stop
teams. They have to learn them.
It would stop teams like Na'Vi just literally their entire career banning the one map, which to me is just ludicrous, right? If you're changing 2 maps every time, eventually there's going to be a map that they don't like, and they might have to actually bring Cation to their map pool, which is really interesting because I think they have good pieces for that map, right? And that's what I'd like to see. It forces teams to learn and innovate instead of being stubborn, because you can like hold on. Let's say the new map that comes on in Zatsu comes back in, and let's say that Cobble goes out, but Cobble's already a weak map for Astralis. Astralis are now laughing. They're like, well, we didn't play Cobble anyway, and now we have another map that we can either just keep as our ban or learn to play and now have a 7-strong map pool. So in those kind of situations, I think, it can help and hinder teams, but I think it makes everybody, or it forces everybody to make a choice if you do 2 maps.
Yeah, and think about it, if you're a newer team that your map pool is not as strong, boom, they rotate out 2 maps you don't play. You get a chance to learn from an even footing on the newer one that they brought in, or maybe go back to one you were already good at. It can strengthen a map pool like that and create kind of this dynamic. The good teams will always be the top teams because they have about a 5, like Astralis has about 5 maps they can play. FaZe.
6, I'd say. 6.
Yeah, I would agree with that. FaZe has at least 5. VP, depending on which VP, again, can play 5 to 6. And they'll always be strong, but it gives you sort of this like diversity in the back end of the top 10, if you will, which I think is kind of unpredictable and an interesting dynamic.
And it makes sure that top teams can't be complacent.
Yeah, and I love creativity. So the more you change things up, the more teams get to be creative. It's not like, oh yeah, we've seen that strat once, we know how to counter it. So
right now, the way that we change the flow of the game is through weapon changes, as opposed to through map changes, right? Obviously, Matt was saying, sometimes we see the new maps come in, but I think weapon changes is the main.
They're not even really
breaking.
new though either, though.
No, but like little tweaks, right?
Yeah.
Tweaks.
Yeah, enough that you have to relearn it. But like I said, I think there's a number of maps. I maintain I think Season is playable if they fix the jail rotation so the CTs don't have quite as far to go from middle, so they can actually contest it and then not get locked out of a site when they lose it immediately and make retakes almost impossible on that map. I think that Tuscan easily is like ready to go if they would just release the damn thing.
No, it's Brute, that clown.
Yeah.
If
well,
we're
just call
talking
it,
too
so
much,
call it
we can
mill
fix
and
this
just
issue.
go back.
If we're
Yeah,
fixing,
I love
if
mill.
we're talking too much, just tell us to shut up.
No, you're not. This is great.
Okay.
We're filling time. Like, if you don't want to have any more to say about that, we'll go on to a new question.
I
probably.
want another question.
Okay, new question. I think we made our point. People,
we
people
did.
understand what we're
it's-
saying.
I think it's super good points. Like, hopefully, maybe Valve will listen to that.
We're 2 of the greatest minds in all of Counter-Strike, so it makes sense.
Yes. Greatest minds in many weird different ways in my case. But
Yeah.
carry on.
Is there still hope for NIP or is it RIP?
I think
Why
Nip and Rip
can't
sounded
I
better there, but I'll give it to you.
choose don't. Something. Thanks for your question.
You want my honest answer? It's time to change it completely.
Mix it right up.
Yep.
Two choices.
I would let the contracts run out, so it's not even a roster shuffle that have to be traded. Let the contracts run out. Let them decide who wants to keep playing together and go from there.
So here's how you make the decision. If you're NIP and you're happy getting paid and being a brand, keep doing what you're doing.
Occasionally, the brand is going to start to suffer now too if you don't qualify for a minor.
If the organization is more than happy for them just to be the legendary players in the brand, continue doing what you're doing because occasionally you're going to have a good result, right? You're still going to get invited to bigger events because you are that name, and you can just keep grinding through, and maybe you can get back on some kind of form. But I never think they'll be the world number one with this roster.
I think right now, because of the depth and the gap that's been closed from Tier 2 to Tier 1, I don't know if I agree that they will continue to be invited. For example, Malmo. They're the defending champions of DreamHack Masters Malmo. It's going to be 18 months by the time we get there because it was last April that we did it, and we're going into August when we do it this time. They've already said they're not invited directly. That's a Swedish tournament by a Swedish organizer, which they won. They didn't get invited, and it's because the community is starting to have integrity for that exact reason. Why is the Virtus Pro always invited when they're struggling? Why is NIP going to be invited? I don't think orgs are going to get that anymore. That's just not the way CS goes. There's not just 8 teams that are legendary at this point. There's 10 to 12 that all can play at that level on any given day. And I think that's why I say the brand is going to start to suffer now. If you didn't qualify for a minor, I'm sorry. As much fans as you have other people on the other side of the coin. And I think that if I'm the brand, even if they're still making money, they're not making what they could. They're not achieving what they should be. And you're paying them a lot of money. I'd say let the contracts run out. Let them decide who wants to play together and stay together and then sign based on that.
Can I build on this point? I think NIP being stubborn in this regard and not changing their roster probably when they should have dramatically has actually neutered and slowed down the development of the rest of the Swedish scene. Whereas you've seen the Danish rosters happy to change it and chop and change, and you've always had that secondary feeder team being MSL squad, which has blossomed now because so much talent behind them was backing up. You have 2 top Danish teams, right? And even a third in Heroic nipping at the heels who could potentially, with a couple more changes or maybe a little bit more stronger performances, could become a definite top 10 mainstay, or I guess maybe top 15 mainstay, right? So the Danish scene has helped develop their talent, while it seems like in Sweden, because this top team was more than happy just to hold on to the resources and stick with the team that they had, the tried and tested lineup that they had so much success with, it's hurt everybody else. Now they need to kind of rebuild that. I reckon you got 2 choices. You either keep the legends of Get Right and Forest and get 3 new players and build around those guys. And we know that Get Right's had a massive drop-off, but there's lots of issues for that. We are aware of that.
Yes, yeah.
But I think, having a whole different outlook. If you get 3 brand new players, and now Forest and Get Right just take on the roles. They're no longer stars. They take on roles, and they really treat and nurture these young kids, have a new system. Threat could still be the coach. I don't think there's any issues with that. The way that he looks at the game is fine. But have someone else as their shot caller and kind of build them up that way. You could have a whole lot of fresh new talent coming through. I don't see any issues with Exist or Freiburg going to other teams that need that piece. You could have Freiburg as a bomb site anchor in a team that needs a bomb site anchor. You could have Exist in a team that needs an in-game leader. I just don't think this team is cohesive.
They're worn out. They've tried everything. They've changed it up. There's only so much they can do with it. Exist Mind is probably absolutely stressed to the max, trying to find ways to reinvent that. And it's just not going to work. So, so like I say, I mean, if I'm not opposed to a full rebuild. Like I say, let them dissolve it. And to your point as well, Chad, to go back to them kind of sitting around with who they had, I've talked to other Swedish teams that when they were struggling wouldn't go to them for a shuffle, the whole God Step and everything. It's because NIP was so far removed from the rest of the Swedish scene during their domination, and the other teams couldn't even touch them or couldn't even talk to them, that they all used to 10-man with themselves. And those players all created sort of like the Danish ecosystem where they all knew each other, and NIP was the odd team out. And then when it came time for them to make changes, these guys were already aligned, and they were on the outside.
Yeah. I know that they did want Twist or Pronax, and both of them said
Twist
no.
I've turned them down 3 times now, as far as I know.
Yeah. So those guys have said no.
I know it was twice for sure, but I've heard that there was a third. So.
Pitt said yes.
The game's ready now.
Oh, we can't keep talking?
Well, then, let's go. Let's go watch boring Counter-Strike. We'll
Unless
come back
there's
to
one last quick point. Did you want to?
Back to you in the studio.
Okay, back to me in the studio. It is Misfits versus Pain. It's all on the line. Loser of this best of 3 goes out and will not set foot at a major. I'm going to hand over to the casters for this match. It's Anders and Henry G.
Well, wouldn't you know it? You're absolutely right, James. You've got it on lockdown. Hank, are you ready?
So ready.
You've never been more ready. I've never seen this fired up before.
Well, you know what? When you have this sort of game on the server ready to go, you've got to be excited for it. One of these teams are going home, Anders.
Yes.
Misfits, Pain. We've got a best of 3. We haven't seen Overpass before. I'm casting with you. So you know what? It's a great day to be alive right now.
I'm glad you say that. It makes me, you know, warm inside. I appreciate it.
You will be. Let's get into it, shall we? It's the pistol round. It's going to be Pain on the T side, and they have 3 sets of armor. Most teams do favor the B bomb site on overpassing the pistol. You've got a couple of smokes to work with them, and you can smoke the bomb site itself and towards heaven. Molotov for the barrels as well, so the Molotov does suggest they will head towards B. Obviously, do have the option to fake that if they want to with the 2 smokes, but the main thing is they need to negate the aggression that could be coming from Misfits. We do have a nice little run boost coming in there at the start. But indeed, there it is. 5 players towards B, and this could be quite a fast execution here. They have no presence on the map whatsoever, so this means they have to operate pretty quickly. As you can see, Devo Duvek has actually made his way towards middle, so they need to get into that B bomb site any second now.
Yeah, every second that passes is going to be a bit worse for them. Sick, though, is holding the high ground and looking for one click with the USP. They're going to get the bomb plant down. So the big question is, can the French player actually get the flank in? Neckers has already gone down. That's a good opening frag. And now the bomb is ticking away here. 4 versus 3, and the retake still not quite happening for Misfits. DZT is going to pick up 1 there. And Devil Dudek also going down. It's just not really working out here for the American side. It's CQK left, and he's going to be dropped by DZT. Not some easy names to try and cast in just, you know, too many one-syllable names.
Yeah, they don't really roll off the tongue, do they? But for now, it's going to be Pain with a pretty successful pistol round there. We did see that lovely flank come in from Devo Duvek, but I think he was way too slow on it. Once the bomb was planted, he was still walking around by the steps area, top of middle.
Yes.
He was too cautious out the flanks, or people waiting for him around the corners and stuff like that. And then by the time he did strike, he made a load of noise, and the waiting player took him down. Easy frags from Pain, got the bomb plant in there. It was a retake set up from Misfits. Didn't really have much presence in the site whatsoever. But moving into round number 2, it will be a semi-force buy here. 3 sets of armor, CZs, Deagles, and 5 7s. In terms of the stack, pretty standard for now for Misfit. 3 players towards B, 1 in bathrooms, and 1 towards long. That's going to be ZQK? Is that what we're going with?
Yeah, or CQK if you want.
ZQK?
If you're American, I think they say C for some ungodly reason.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I think CQK. So I'm not going to try it any other way.
Good.
It's too much.
Well, very slow and cautious approach here from Pain. You like to go towards long, usually. That makes a lot of sense. You've got the rifles, 3 of those. Keep the range nice and long. You're obviously a little bit vulnerable to Deagles, like ZQK is waiting on the other side, but he doesn't actually inflict any damage just yet. Gets taken down to 16. He has to pull back, and this should be the first frag coming in. It's going to be Amanak going down. Landon finds that first kill. At this stage, they don't need to fully commit. They have a few smokes here. They want to wait on the other side. You can see you've got a player in connectors in the minimap right now. He'll be holding up for the rotations. Any sort of push from B, he'll lock that down. And if he gets nothing, that's when they'll commit. There's the reaction. It's a nice headshot from Skylar, to be fair, but doesn't quite find the frag. Takes Cello down to 17 HP. And still have 40 seconds remaining. They'll probably decide to fully commit around the 25-second mark.
Yeah, and this is getting a bit worried. I mean, down to 30 seconds, I would not be comfortable with that if I was Pain Gaming. Just if the bomb carrier dies in the middle of all of this, it could get ugly, but taking out the French player, and next in line, it's going to be Skylar going down. Now, Sick falling to the UMP, so lots of good UMP kills in this round. It's just CQK left here, 16 health for the deal, so Pain Gaming slowing it down, and that looked just like a very controlled descent onto that bomb site.
That was perfect. 25 seconds, in my opinion, is fine. Like, you've got the man advantage already, and the CTs don't exactly know where you are. They haven't got any real vision on you. They put a 1 player in the bathrooms. That's about all they have to work with there. And it's going to be 2-0. Pain Gaming, classic anti-eco strategy there. Hold up at the start, wait for the aggression to come in, get towards long, like we mentioned before, using those rifles to the best of their ability. Get that first pick. Once you get that, perfect. Get in position for the set smokes. 1 towards bank, 1 towards CD spawn. Get in there together. Trade frags, didn't even give one away. So that's really nice stuff from the Brazilians, who we didn't really see perform all that well this morning, Anders. We actually casted that game. They got 16 wand. It was quite a brutal affair. That's what I enjoyed.
Yeah, it was interesting, wasn't it? 3rd round here, and the Misfits, just a 1 flashbang. I like seeing that, and they're actually doing something that we've used to see sort of the SK team do.
Yes.
Single flashbang and all grouped up by restrooms.
You might be loving it, but the bomb is down the other side.
That's just a minor detail. I feel like
it's still fine in your opinion.
I feel like sometimes would say that it's the thought that matters, Henry.
Yeah, well, I guess these sort of rounds you don't really have much to work with anyway. Might as well take a gamble. They went all in on black. It actually came up red, so there's not really much you can do about that. It happens.
We've been there before.
We've definitely been there before, many times, and to the same effect, I would say as well.
Yes. Well, Amanek picking up some really good kills. I actually liked watching this guy play earlier. I think he had some pretty good focus. I don't know what his sort of top level is, but whenever I see people who don't become too affected by pressure, and who sort of seem to be able to hold their own. I always think, oh, that could be like a good player. That guy could go somewhere, you know?
Yeah, sure. Ooh, a little wall bang there.
Nice.
They do manage to collect a couple of weapons here. It'll be Sick with the Galil. That's not a bad rifle to have. And Amanek with the UMP. So that helps balance the books. After force buying that second round, and as you are normally struggling in this first go round, it's actually coming to the meta more and more. The top teams aren't force buying so much in the second round. They're not getting armor anymore, just getting deagles, maybe P250, so they have a bit more to work with in this first gun round. Interested to see what they bring to the table now, Misfits. We know they're a mixed team. Going to be struggling, missing the tactical mastermind of Sean Gares. So what do they really do here? What's the call? They're going aggressive, trying to find this first pick. We do have one player towards the connector, but he's fallen back. Amanek will be joining him as well, and it looks like it will be another B-sided execution here. All of 5 players from Pain Gaming towards a B-sided map, and a set piece like this on Overpass is perfect, especially when you know they're low money, and you've been gifted a pick like that. What was Sick hoping for? Was there a flashbang coming over from the CT side, or was this going for a straight-up face? Oh, and is this Anders mode?
Yeah, this is something.
Oh my god, this is sick. I've never seen this.
Yeah, so it was done a couple of times. I've done it a couple of times in matchmaking as well.
Is it like a pro team we've seen it before?
There's there was one team that did it. I can't remember which one, but there was one team that already did it once. It might have actually been the Brazilian team as well. So maybe it's these guys and I just forget about it. But it's been shown before.
Okay, I've casted 1,000 games on Overpass and never seen it.
I will happily say, it is not the most grotesque boost that's possible in the game right now.
You were telling me before this broadcast. You've got a few up your sleeve still.
There's at least 2 other on this map.
And you said you were saving it for when if you qualify for the major. You're saving it for that.
I'm waiting for it. I'm biding my time.
Okay.
Well, Nekus on the other hand has got no patience for any of that stuff. He's going to run right into Skylar and take him down. And Devaduvek next in line goes down. CQK finds a really long-range shot with the M4A4. That's not bad on Nekus. They're really saving their time, waiting for a while here, but that's a great kill coming out, I believe, from Tatizin.
Yeah, that was quite nice, I have to say. Well, Pain, first gun round. 5 players towards B. They've called on the strat. It's a little bit out there to call the strategy in the set piece right off the bat, but like I said, when you know the CT is low, why not? They won't necessarily have the firepower to hold you off or the utility. They're with that full execution. Actually got a pick at the start. The AWP was sick. I thought that was a really strange peek from him. The fact he goes towards Monster Tunnel with no flashbang over the top, he just faces with his rifle. It's very common for a terrorist to sit back on those steps behind the barrel, the washing machine, wherever it is, and you can wait for a CT to do that. He just runs into the crossover Norpa, and they think, brilliant. Well, we'll go for this boost, see if they're anyone rotating into B side. And they've actually can call, okay, well, no one's rotated through heaven, so we've got a good chance, and no one's actually rotated to back them up. Smokes in, Molotov's in. Get the first pick, only give 1 frag away. This is beautiful from Pain. We didn't actually get to see any of their T-side out here today, did we? Because they lost 14-1 on the CT side of Train. That's why I kind of disregarded them in this tournament completely. If you're losing 14-1 on the CT side of map, you've got to ask yourself, is this a team that can make it to a major?
Yeah, it just seemed unlikely at that point, didn't it? Hard to know if there was like a collective team breakdown or if they just, something went horribly wrong in that game regardless. Now they're getting a chance in the best of 3. And I'm kind of interested to see how it will go. I mean, so far it's looking good. They seem well prepared for playing Overpass. You see that smoke that goes up towards the restrooms and everything?
I didn't catch the veto. I assume this is their map pick from what I've seen so far.
Yes,
that would make sense, right? Like these kind of strategies they're showing us right now and the kind of mentality they've got, it seems like their map pick all day long.
Yeah, and they're not scared at all. That one smoke that you can throw from T-spawn that lands by the restrooms to give you so much room to work with once you get up there.
The entrance of the restrooms, yeah, absolutely. That's really nice to use. You can actually flash off the aggressive player towards the steps or the playground area. Then you can actually challenge him, falling back. Potentially not, he won't be able to have anyone playing with him towards that smoke area. So that's kind of cool. But round number 5, some pistols here, PT-50s, Deagles, and a UMP. We've got Amanek with that weapon. See whether we can do anything about this. They have got a little bit of utility to work with. Interesting that Amanek's got the Deagle. He didn't drop it to any of his teammates, allowed them to buy the PT-50 instead. Just a little note there. There we go.
Ooh.
Skylar.
I mean, they've been waiting the whole round for that kind of a push, and when it finally comes, it's just when they're shuffling about the map. This could get really dangerous. The bomb is right in front. If Nekus goes down, that might just be it. And look at the damage being output already. Cello got a kill on Amanek, so at least there's that going on, and Nekus will find it. That's so scary.
Yeah, that was one bullet between giving the CTs the advantage or you pretty much guaranteeing the round victory. The UMP's gone down now, and they will make their way towards B once again. This will be Devaduvek. I'm going to struggle with that name. On the B side waiting for them. Yeah, it's a bit of a mouthful. Maybe just call him Devo. You know?
Yeah, I would be down for that. Oh, but he's behind the pillar, so DCT can't find him. Devaduvek has already gone down, or Devo if you prefer. Sick.
I do, I definitely prefer.
All right. We try and make our jobs easier. I think that's all right.
Yeah, play-by-play is my forte, and with that name kind of chucked in there as well, it's going to make things even more of a nightmare.
It's just French, isn't it? It's hard to deal with. Sick going to be jumping around the corner, and would have maybe been one kill on Nekis there, but regardless, he was going to go down. So Pain Gaming finding 5 rounds in a row, but yeah, that nearly got out of hand. It's the classic thing, isn't it, Henry? You're watching out in an angle forever and ever, and the second you take your finger off the button, you should move somewhere else. Oh, that's when they come.
In the UK, we call that sod's law. As soon as you do something and you take your mind off it, that's when it actually happens. But still, they managed to recover. It's 5-0. They've got a great start here. Plenty of money in the bank as well, so they're fine. They did keep them a little bit more modest than they would have liked, but is this 5 towards B once again? I think it is, Anders. They're just happy with the set pieces. If it's not broken, why fix it, right? Let's just keep applying pressure to this site. We're finding the kills there. Their money's not going to be great on that side of the map. Well, they have got full loss bonus in the AWP at this time. Sick will be there pretty much by himself. He has got backup from Devaduvet, who's just jumping up watching short right now. He spots a couple of players. I think they'll still go with this. The fact they have 5 on this side of the map, they don't know what's behind them. I think you do just have to kind of hold your breath, hope for the best, and they'll push through the smoke.
Yeah, flashbangs are really good, so the refrag is there instantly. Sick is in a lot of trouble here. He will pick up 1 kill, turns around, and DCT's there to take him down. So still a 3-on-3. The smoke is going to be covering him for the bomb plant. So another retake here for Misfits, and they haven't been able to put one together just yet.
Yeah, failed incendiary from the CT retake as well. That was from Skylar short, and he gets taken down as soon as he throws it. Actually gives away your position throwing those incendiaries. Make a lot of noise, obviously very visual as well. But here we go, a chance at the retake. The AWP shot comes in, takes down Landon, and they do not have kits. That is a problem now. Got to find 2 terrorists and a bomb to defuse as well. The 10-second defuse, but I'm not sure they have a chance here. Bomb's ticking away. They have no idea the remaining Ts are, and even less so now as SQJ goes down. It's going to be a 1-on-1 up to the remaining CT player here.
Oh, he actually gets the shot, and he picked up a kit, so just a couple of more seconds and he maybe could have done it, but ultimately not going to work out. 6 rounds in a row here, and some painful missteps for Misfits.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's why you're the master.
Well, I mean, maybe not anymore, but I've got my moments, Hank.
Yeah, you still got a few in the chamber ready to go. We discussed some of your plans for the next few events.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the business venture we were going to go on.
Oh, we've got.
I don't think we can discuss those, but
we've got some great business ventures in the works.
That's very true.
It's a product for all the family.
Well, 7th round is coming up here, and ultimately, Misfits, they need to change. They need to change something, and I feel like the weakness, which is the one that Pain Gaming have identified as well, is that B bomb site. What do you do about that? How do you deal with that?
Well, they know they're not a full team here. It's a mixed team, right? So their CT defense is just going to be a very basic one. They're not going to be hunting for information. They need to be maybe getting that first pick at the start. Let's get the AWP towards Monster Tunnel at the start, and maybe he can find that 5-on-4 so they don't have the chance of getting the full execution now. But here we go. Skylar has made his way all the way around the back, so maybe he can do something about this. He's actually watching towards T4 right now, and unfortunately, though, never do that. He pushes towards B, and 2 big kills coming in. It's going to be a 5-4-2, I should say. But Relics, he could actually do something about this. Or can he? Apparently not.
I mean, he had the chance, but they do a pretty good job of clearing that out. Landon finding the kill. And Amanek not really in a position to do much of anything here. I mean, you're right. And this is what we were talking about earlier in the day as well. When you're a mixed team like this, playing CT side is just very difficult. I mean, I would prefer actually to try and, because the problem is if you're just waiting on a bomb site, then you need really good communication and good rotations, right? What if you cut that element out and just say we'll just go and fight them, you know? And Overpass is sort of a map that allows for at least some of that over on the birthday area side. I think you could get some fights there.
It's the thing is, you need coordination. It's not as simple as saying, let's just push and just get a kill here, right? You need to have the set flashbangs. You need smokes that are one way. You need something to eradicate risks, right? Yeah, you might have some great aimers here, but Pain are ready for it. And like we said, they're very happy just going 5 towards B right now, holding off any sort of attempts to push them back. And they get the 5-on-4. It's not really helping them. Might just want to play 3 in the site and see if they can maybe hold it together. But 7-0, it's still early days, believe it or not. We haven't got to the halfway point yet, so they're absolutely fine. They can still come back and win the half. That might sound like a far cry right now, but still could happen. Now they're challenging towards Connector.
Oh my
Through
God.
the smoke, you hate to see that. Landon takes down Skylar, and it's going to be a 5-on-4 once again. This has been a problem. Misfits are actively trying to challenge at the start, but they're losing the duel every single time.
Yeah, he's on 1-0-7 as well as a scoreline here, and the other 2 players on the team, Devaduvek and CKK, they've got 2 kills each as well. So collectively, there's just not a lot of fragging going on the Misfits side here. They're really, really struggling. And they have no response to this kind of thing. I mean, normally you'd want to see with this kind of setup, you're in a 4 versus 5, take a risk and try and get some of it back. And it seems like they're just holding onto the bomb sites and, you know, waiting for Pain Gaming to show up, well, one way or another. And it looks like it could be an A push this time, actually.
Well, it makes sense. You've got the 5-on-4 execution, very standard on this map, and Amanek, he's in this classic one and done position, but he timed it to perfection. Needs to find at least 1 kill here. Gets it. He's staying alive for now. If he can actually manage to get back to the bomb site here, he might have saved the round for his teammates, so that's not bad at all. Looking promising now. 30 seconds, time ticking away. They still have the AWP on the side as well, where the T's start to make their ascendants.
Oh, he just almost skipped into both the terrorists waiting and the grenade going to take him down. Tazitin able to get that in there now. 3 versus 4. And just 15 seconds left. Can they get the bomb plant down? That's a big question at the moment. Trying to shoot through the box. I love seeing that because people almost always forget that that's possible. They've got almost no health left. There's a kill from Devaduvek, and now it's landing left. They get the bomb plant down, but it's just not enough here. There will be Misfits picking up the first round. Not at all bad.
Just about. They had the 5-on-4 there, but it came down to Amanek. Aggressive play towards long. He has some sort of sense they might be towards the bathroom area. Comes around, finds the first frag, and that's what we needed. They haven't had that advantage at all, so it was the 4-on-4 at that stage. They could fall back and allow the AWP to rotate in as well. The time's so low as well, they could pretty much guarantee it was going to be an A-sided attack. Managed to deny the bomb for so long, get the players low HP as well. Problem is, though, for Misfits, only 2 players survived there. Sure, they kept the AWP, but still, with the rebuys going into round number 9 here, they're going to have to get all the incendiaries, the kits purchased again, most of the other utility as well. They've purchased another AWP. I'm not sure they saved that. They have got 2 counter players, so I'm assuming they saved 2 AWPs into this round.
Yeah, I think
but
they did.
Still, losing this one, only $1,400 on top. And that's going to mean a full reset. It certainly has potential as we get into this one. Skylar just under the UMP. Amanek with no grenades whatsoever. But the double AWP setup, the first time we've seen that for the CT, so maybe this is what they were aiming for, and it's where they feel most comfortable.
It's going to have to be one hell of a comeback to get back into this game. You have to imagine, like, even if they finish 8-7 here, I mean, their T side, we don't know how good it's going to be, and sometimes it's easier if you're a mixed team just to run and gun on the T side. So, got some hope that they could put more rounds on the board, but it isn't easy. And that's one hell of a headshot. Tazitin takes him down. Skylar, he's just not having any luck in this game, and Devaduvek next in line.
In we go, boys.
Taking him down. Sick alone on the bomb side. He's in so much trouble. He tries for the spray, but they're just going to run him down.
Oh, that's so devastating. What can you even do about that? The wallbang comes in. That's unlikely. You can normally do some damage for that. It's quite rare to see a kill. And then the jump shot as well. I'm still wondering why so many players go for that jump peek towards shores. You seem to die most of the time when you're trying it these days. Everyone's pre-firing it, and you go against these crazy aimers as well, the Brazilians. I think it's not even worth it these days. I prefer just having the boost there, go for the first pick, you've got a rifle, at least have the advantage to shoot back, something to work with. But it's going to be a guaranteed round for Pain at this point. Amanek trying to save his AWP, along with ZQK as well. See if he can manage to do it. They're both towards long, and they're finding shots here. There is money available for the T's, but now it's starting to dwindle considering they're losing so many frags. But saving 2 AWPs into the next round for Misfits, that'd be fantastic. We did say the full bonus reset is coming in, so saving 2 AWPs, they can force around that. That's certainly viable. But do they actually manage to do it? It's going to be coming in left, right, and center. I think they have. So managing to save 2 AWPs, that's something at least. But the reset comes through. It's going to be Pain, 8 rounds, Misfits of 1. Yeah, rough round there, the wallbang. I've only ever seen nothing really find kills from that sort of position. I see a lot of players attempting it, but never really finding frags.
No, usually it's combined with the Molotov, and then you just hope to slow people down so you get a little bit of Molotov damage in and maybe some bullets, and that's it. I think it was Seized who first put that into play, wasn't it? I think it was the first time we saw someone sort of, you know, consistently do that and actually have an effect on it. But this is something else.
It's one of my pet peeves with CSGO right now. The fact is, you could have $1,400 into a round, and a little bit more, so you have 2K total. You can still buy 3 UMPs and armor. Against AKs, you don't even need head armor, so you pretty much got a full buy. You got 3 rifles, pretty much. That's the problem. That's why everyone cries about the economy in this game being broken right now, because save some weaponry like a couple of AWPs, and this is an absolutely fine round.
Yeah, but it's kind of interesting because it somehow feels like it's still not as bad as it was when... Do you remember when Envy were sort of at their prime with the Tech-9s, where they would force again and again and again, and, you know, even if they did it 6 rounds in a row, if it worked on the 7th round, then they just win the game, you know.
That's when the Tech-9 was more overpowered than it is now, right? So that was when it had a bit more accuracy while running, and it could shoot much faster, I think.
Yeah, and more bullets as well, I believe, right? So So
No, it can't have it. Did it have more? Did it have 32 back in the day?
yeah, I think it did.
No. How mad is
It
that?
got downgraded. I think it did. I think it got downgraded to 24 or whatever.
That's downgraded. Come on. Who needs 24 bullets in any sort of scenario? With
Don't know. I don't know. Most people are dead by the first 5 or 6. But
Yeah, well, 2 players are dead now. 4 Misfits make it 3. ZQK goes down as well. This is a real nice slow take from Pain Gaming. They're taking down 1 of the AWPs and 3 of the UMPs, and we'll see whether they can do anything about this. To finish things off, will be Misfits with Amanek defending towards the A side. That's a big miss from him. If he finds that, maybe he's got a chance. But now Devaduvek towards the B side. 5 players to find. UMP in hand. He'll just be trying to recover something. If you can find one of those AWP, that's great. If you're smart, though, if you're Pain Gaming, you're throwing those out of the map, right? They've picked up a secondary one here, but the other should just be thrown over the wall.
can you pronounce his last name though?
Let me see. I haven't got my glasses on. Dubroslavic. You're European. You give it a go. You can pronounce words easier than English people.
Did they trigger Article 50 yet? Are you technically still European?
We're still European. We're not in the European Union.
All right.
So, you know, don't get wise on me.
Fair enough. I'll leave it up to somebody else. I'm sure. I don't know.
I'll give it a go. I gave it a go. Go on.
Dobrosavljevic.
It's not bad.
I think it's actually dead on.
Yeah?
I think that's
Pretty good.
I feel confident that's exactly what it is. At this point in time, Hank, what can you say about Misfits? Give me the silver lining. Give me the
they're in
highlight.
the bin right now. That was a fourth player with double AWPs and the UMPs, like we said. That's a
What kind of bin is
buy.
it? Is there kind of there's any leftovers in there? Like anyone sandwich, anything they can
banana
eat?
skins, sandwiches, like no dead people though. That's the good news.
Okay, so they might barely
It's a nice neighborhood.
survive for a couple of days in there.
Yeah, they might be okay. So they got a UMP, right? So they found something in it,
Alright.
but only pistols and only on second stage loss benefit, so $1,900. Couldn't force too much into this one. They will have a buy next round, still not the greatest, but maybe they can cause some damage. The good news is you've got a silver lining. Pain have gone for double AWPs here on the T side of overpass, which is not exactly, it's viable, sure, but it's not ideal. You could find yourself with some close range interactions with these pistols and UMP. Maybe that slips away, and then you give the CT an AWP, and just like this, maybe Devin can do something about it. Good damage, does take down Runkdown 901, whoever that is. That's actually Tartar's in.
Yeah.
This is what's confusing me. That top, don't look at the top right-handers, it will get you.
Yeah, I'm fighting. You know, we asked the players earlier.
Well, I have no way of knowing because on my laptop it says Runkdown.
Yeah.
And then on the top right, where I normally look for kills, that's what it's saying as well. So I'm having to like take a pause and work out who's actually killing who.
Yeah. At our age, Henry, it's too much ask, isn't it?
It's way too much.
Can't be expected to deal with this kind of thing. Well, Devo and Amanek, the 2 French players making their way towards the bomb site. They are on the right side of the map. Actually, I'm not sure why Pain Gaming have allowed them to get this far in without no bomb going down. It seems like they're being unreasonably slow at the moment. So maybe this can actually be won, even if it's 2-on-4 here.
This is the play.
Yeah. They're very weird right now.
Double AWPs, we said.
You called it already, and Amanek going to pick up the kill. DCT, he's 1 bullet away from death, and there it is, the headshot. 29 seconds in a 1-on-1.
That's why they had to be so slow, though. They've got those AWPs. They can't really go into the key choke point and have a chance to get the close range play right. So waiting for the AK to close out every single angle. And now Amanek has a chance here. This Deagle battle's pretty evil. Even. And Cello will be trying to make his way to the bomb site, but time's ticking away. He has to force the plant now, and that's where Amanek can rush him down. There we go.
What is that? Just spamming madly with the Deagle? I'm not sure that's really advised at this point in time. The smoke is going to cover his retreat, and Cello's making a way around. It won't happen. I wanted that to be a thing.
Me too. But that's why the double AWP is not really a good idea when you go to a place like the B bomb site. You're together. One's watching Heaven. Can't really watch the ramp. The other's watching the CT entrance. It started to fall apart. Davidek almost shut them down, but unfortunately could not win the round. So sure, he limits their money, but still, Anders. Landon's got 10 grand, and there's going to be players on 6 as well. Like their money's fine pretty much the rest of this half. If they lose a round, they can still buy. So we'll see what round number 12 holds for us here. 10-1 in favor of the Brazilians, giving Misfits a taste of what Cloud9 gifted towards Pain Gaming this morning.
10 grand, that's almost 2 bottles of champagne for that.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not
almost.
Bad.
Depends on the champagne.
That does depend heavily on the champagne. You're very right indeed. Well, they do trade Amanek for it. He was trying to get out, but just not happening. Skylar's gone down as well, so 4 versus 3 right here, and Misfits just in a miserable spot. I mean, do you think if you're a mixed team like this, you don't take it too much to heart, really? You just think, oh, well, you know.
I think this whole event, you can't really take it to heart. You just lost your in-game leader. You just lost one of your star players as well, or at least one of your big names.
Shazam.
Shazam, man. And at that point, what do you even think of into this event? Oh, great, we're definitely making it to a major with 2 players randomly removed just before the event. Like, it's not going to be great news, is it? I think that it's turning up like to say, okay, well, we are signed up, got to represent the organization, at least give it a go.
Is that what they say? Is that what they call the American dream? I've never been clear on that.
I think this would be a perfect example of the American dream. Maybe Jason can fill us in on that one.
Yeah, I would like to know.
It's close. But for now, back towards B we go. Pain with the man advantage once again. We've had a couple of Franks come in, and it's going to be Sick with the UMP. Close range. Ready and waiting towards Monster, but that looks like they're heading towards Short, so that's a problem. They'll probably do what we call a contact play at this point, Anders is walking to the side until they get an interaction.
Yes.
I actually like Devaduvek's position. If we can watch him for a second, that'd be great, because he's behind the sandbags, and it's not exactly a pre-fire, and he should get 1 or 2 kills there.
Yeah, picks up the first one, and Sick is there for the double follow-up with the UMP. Absolutely perfect. They actually walked into the crossfire because Cello was so low he had to go in last, and that meant there wasn't really any kind of a flank going on. But 4 seconds. Be another round for Misfits.
Just about, yeah. And it came down to that nice setup. You pointed out, it looked promising to me when they're walking into the site. They did go for that contact play, Pain, and Devaduvek. He only gets 1 kill himself, but he sets his teammate Sick up for the alley-oop, did some damage. He runs around the corner, finds 2 frags, not enough time to actually plant the bomb. Here's the replay. You can see they weren't pre-firing that at all. They're looking towards the ramp and towards the monster side itself. You're not going to be pre-firing that at all. So that's a nice spot. You don't see that too often, actually. I like it a lot.
Definitely some good stuff there. Surviving with 2 members, so they get to save a bit. Was a timeout being called? So Misfits actually calling that tactical timeout after winning the round.
Yeah, well, the thing is, they're back in the reset town, right? So they've lost 3 in a row. Money's still not great. Only 2 players survived that round. So they're just working out, okay, we can't lose this one. If we lose this, it's probably going to be 13-2.5. So need to be very careful here. What's the play? Do we go aggressive again? Consistently giving away that first pick. If they're coming towards B, that seems to be a problem. If I'm Pain right now, I know they're taking a pause. They're probably adjusting things and probably strengthening their B defense or something. I'm just going straight towards A. I'm doing a fast play towards long or something like that. We'll see what they decide to do. Looks like more of a default play. No 5 players towards B this time. Sprint towards middle from the CTs. ZQK going for the first AWP pick. Sees a flash, but can't fire a shot on target. So hopefully falling back to the bathrooms, but he has got a gap to work with here.
13th round, and not quite as fast as they were earlier in the game towards the B-bomb side. It seems like they cooled off a little bit on the Pain Gaming side, but it's hard to find many faults with them right now. They are playing a pretty high-powered game at the moment. And
yeah. Well, like we said, though, we know their CT halves can be weak, especially on a map like Train. And you spotted something there. There's a little boost. What did you see?
Yeah, I was just wondering about Cello and his AK-47, but let's not dwell on that too much. It is it's an interesting day in Counter-Strike. Are you all right?
On this GUI, we don't see the names of the guns. I think it's fine.
My God. Well,
yeah, it's fine. You cannot see the names of them. It's absolutely fine. But that's out there. It's round number 13, and it's going to be still a difficult buy for Misfits. 2 UMPs, and they still have the AWP on ZQK. Back towards B we go, though. They have got a little bit of control. The problem is, once again, they have left the mid-open area. So the area open towards middle. So Amanek is going to be rotating in and calling it a B-sided attack. So they're going to have 4 players on that side of the map. ZQK rotating over as well. CT should win this round.
Yeah, they should. They've got them locked in the monster tunnel. They're just all grouped up, and right now Sick and Devaduvek are doing a really good job of actually clearing them out. Landing very low on health. He's going to be going down, and Amanek also showing up a little bit late, actually. Felt like he was waiting for a long time then, but he will be a 3rd round for Misfits. 14th round is coming up here, and the bank for Pain Gaming is
dwindling.
Yeah, it's dwindling. They could, maybe Landing could buy for 1 more, but it looks like they're just going to try and chill out a little bit.
Well, it's round number 14, right? So you're trying to work out, do really and try and stomp them to the ground now, force buy this, go for the 12-3 half, or do we take an eco and just aim for the 11-4. That's your options right now. And I think the safer option, of course, is to go for that 11-4. It's still a great half. This is still a very CT-sided map, generally. So just having this amazing half already, that's fine. I do see an AK purchased. So maybe they are going for... I guess maybe they did have 1 player at about 6k, so he's just distributing wealth and working out the most efficient way to do that. They still get AKs, 3 of those. 1 player down to the UMP. That's D to T. And it's a reasonable buy. There's 1 down to a Galil as well. I think this will be back to the full B execution potentially as well. Just to say that was working so well. Why did we stop that? We're
Yeah.
overthinking this.
Why did we stop that?
It was working every single round. Let's just give that another go, shall we?
Sometimes you feel like you have to reinvent yourself, right? You
Well,
know?
yeah, like it never got shut down. It was weird to see them even go off it, but doesn't look like they'll go for it once again. It's round number 14 and a chance for the CTs. Fine 10-5. It's still a very winnable situation for them. Okay, towards middle this time. Same smoke you pointed out before. And looks like we will go back towards B. This is the boost. This is safer, of course. So you're not jumping up this time. The wallbang's coming in, doing a lot of damage towards Devaduvek. Looking at the M4 and another wallbang, Anders. Every time. Bloody hell.
He's only gone and shot him through the wall, hasn't he?
Yeah, done it
It's
again.
unbelievable. Amanek has to end up falling back, and it's a 5-on-3 now. I would say at this point, if you're Misfits, just
Yeah.
save these guns.
Yeah, the money's not great. They just need to save the 3 weapons they have. Double orbs as well. They're going to have to concede this round, and that's very nice stuff from Pain. They seem to be on point with their wallbangs. That's the second of this half. They spotted the boosted player, then just went for the full AK spray through the floorboards there and managed to take one down and did a lot of damage towards Devaduvek in this process as well. So 2 frags found very quickly, and then the retake just not possible. Great utility usage. Molotovs towards both entrances and the CT side, and they just have to fall back. They don't know managed to be so weak next round as trying to pick their poison. Do we just allow Pain to win this round and we'd go for a retake and give everything away, or just have to save everything and hopefully we can win the next round. So there it is, 11th round gain for Pain. So like we said earlier, we didn't really get to see their T sides at all. And they seem to be quite a tactical team. They've got the set pieces. The strat book seems to run quite deep here. Oh, brutal. Didn't see it from his POV. That's nice.
Man. I mean...
How it couldn't be more perfect on his head, could it?
No, it really couldn't have been. It was dead on. There was no chance he was going to escape. I mean, it's good that they remembered. They recalled the early days when they were going B and they just won every round.
Yeah.
But let's, you know,
Keep going with it.
try and get the band back together again and just try and go on some of the old bars down towards that side.
Yeah, well, it seems to be working. Red QK now. Up against his Brazilian brothers. Having the best time right now, though. I'm going to have a quick scoreboard. Skylar, 2 for 11.
That's
ZQK,
rough.
3 for 8. So, yeah, a couple of names not really rising to the occasion. We do have Devaduvek at 8, Sick on 10. Same story for Amanek as well. But here we go. Towards long. I know the money's could be relatively poor for Misfits. They do have the AWP up for ZQK, but he's going to be in the bathrooms for now. Long is relatively open. It's only Relics who's at the APC right now, jumping up with his knife, just trying to get information. That's fine, but he could get taken down. It's the timing to elude him. There's a chance that the AKs come in. He does spot them, he survives, but loses track of it with the smoke being deployed.
Go for the long-range spray. I would say that's very dangerous, but doesn't really get replied on at all. Now they're going to try and see if they can push him back. The grenades are all over the place, and Amanek, he's just waiting here. Spots out one player, and that's Tatterson he's managed to take down. Not at all bad. Bomb plant being attempted right in front, but Skylar's going to be there. Continues the spray right on the DCT, and now Neck is the last one left. Instant click there. Very well done for the triple kill on Skylar, and give them a 4th round here towards the end. So he got more kills in that one round than he did the other 14 combined.
Well, he stepped it up at the end. Can't take that away from him, can you?
You cannot do that.
So there it is. It was 10-1 at one stage, Anders, and bring it back to 11-4. All things considered, that's the best thing that could have happened to them. So let's see whether they can actually maybe win the pistol. They do that. They've got a chance. They are going to the T side now. And in terms of their buy, we do have the Superman. Sick has got the Tech 9 and armor. Also with one smoker, Amanek, he dropped the Tech 9, so he doesn't get armor himself. They've got a decoy, no flashbangs, and going towards B, like we said. Almost every team likes to get this side of the map. You're guaranteed a plant, even if you don't win the round. It's just straight up rush by the looks of things. Let's get in there, shall we?
Flashbang is into the monster tunnel. The clicks are coming in. Neckers finding 2 great headshots. Sick and CQK already out of the round. Skylar coming around the corner. He's dropped very low as well. And Neckers will find a 3rd kill. He's not got that many bullets left. And finally, he's going to be going down. Tatterson picking up a kill on Devaduvek, and Amanek, no chance at all. He goes down as well. And Pain Gaming, they're just delivering an absolute spanking here, aren't they?
They are. You love to see that. I know you do. Flashbangs towards Monster Tunnel. This is straight up B rush. There wasn't really much tactical prowess on Anders. They had one smoke.
Yeah.
They sent the Tech 9 in first. That's quite common, like especially maps like Nuke, right? Whoever's got the best spawn, you throw that guy, the Tech 9, he buys armor. There's no real, that's not really a set piece there, right? Rushing B, hopefully this Tech 9 finds the first kill, got a bit more range than the Glock, and he can get that headshot. Then we win the round. If they get flashed though, and he can't do anything about it, that's when you find a few headshots, it starts to turn into a bit of a mess, and it all falls apart. Forced by the second round though, 12-4. And we do have Tech 9's P250s, a couple of smokes, and some armor as well for Misfits. unlikely he can win this round, but we'll see if they can make any sort of dent. If he can just get the bomb down, at least that's something. That's the main objective first. Then think about winning the round.
For me personally, I'm more for the the consensual spanking. I think it's
well, yeah, when you're like doing it to each other, do you mean like, or just?
I just think there needs to be a plan, some sort of consent involved.
Yeah, premeditated.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay.
Davaduvek picking up a great headshot there, taking down Nek is still doing a pretty good job on this bomb site, trying to deny the bomb plant for the moment, but actually Amanek catches him off guard, jumping up on the barrel inside of the smoke. That's some creative play. Now, weirdly, they're all grouped up in the corner, and that's just not a good position to be in. Cello, can he get this one? The tech line close? He'll be able to get it. It's very fortunate, and that will give them another round here. Pain Gaming nearly lost that one, though.
It'll give them a round and then another, because it has to be a full eco now for Misfits.
Do you full eco? You're down to a 1v1 like that. Do you just try and go for it again?
I guess at this point you want nothing to lose, right? It's like the game feels like it's over. Maybe you just go for it, but I don't think they are. 4 seconds remaining. They've got some upgraded pistols. Sure, you've limited the CTs, but they still get the same buyout, right? They're going to have a mixture of M4s and UMPs. A Famis in there as well. Up against Tech9s again, it's pretty much the same result. I think you might as well let them get a 14-4 and hope you can get something done in the gun rounds. So they get Tech9s, Deagles, no armor, no nades. Flash towards middle. Hope they've got aggressive, and the flashbang's good, but not good enough. Landon against unarmored players. He's getting aggro taken away from Connector as well. Round over. Bomb will not be planted here, and it's quite a nice display from Landon there. Just one player remaining. It's Amanek towards the playground passing position, I should say. And the final kill comes in. So Pain, touching distance now of picking up this first map, which was their pick, I have to say.
Where are you, on the sort of Deagle approach? Because some people seem to use it like it's essentially a scout that you just don't have to sort of reload so much.
Okay.
And some people use it, because I like Amanek, just spamming away with it.
I think it's best used to get those initial picks.
Yeah,
I think, obviously, it's very good at spamming at more close range, but just getting into duels where players got SMGs, for example, as well, pre-firing corners, like players like Dubri or Sokada, it can be such a deadly weapon in the right hands. I think it's still my favorite pistol in the game.
Yeah?
Just because it's like, you have to really work for the kill. It takes sick aim. If you miss that first bullet, it's unlikely you're going to get the one tap anymore. And I think some of the best players in the world that use that put on such an amazing show for us. And I think that's why it's such an exciting weapon. Tech9's great, right? You find kills with it, but it's so forgiving.
Yeah.
You can just run and gun with it. You can buy some body armor and just run into a bomb site. It's not that impressive to watch.
Good spray coming in there, but he can't make it out. Skylar going to be able to catch him. That may be giving them an opening here towards the bomb site. Nekis with an interesting flashbang, bounces into the bridge and back down again. Sick will find DCT, so still just a bit of a lead here for Misfits. And it is now or never for them. Oh, Cello walking in there, finds Amanek, and now they're trapped. The bomb is even there.
Yeah, that's a massive blunder. Why is the bomb there by itself? No one watching the flanks, and they're just concentrating on boosts and all sorts, and they're going to get punished for it now. Now the CT's turtling over that bomb. It's not in the best position, but we do manage to upgrade the AK-47. One of the CTs, there it is, gets a kill, but not any more than that. Sick takes him down. So the chance of the CTs goes down to the 1v1, though. Davaduvek, 22 HP against Landon, who comes up trumps in the 1v1. 15-4 map point. This has not been pretty for Misfits whatsoever. I think that's over. That's GG for me.
You're out.
Yeah, I'm out.
No, this has just been a really rough display. We were sort of thinking, maybe we can give them a bit of rope because of CT side and everything, but...
the thing is, it's not a mixed map. You can't just turn up here with 3 of the team and hope for the best, and especially CT. Like, it's such one of those maps as well where so many executions are available, so many fakes, very fast rotation map for the Ts. Unless your setups are really solid on the CT side and you're getting information and finding picks, you're going to fall apart, you're going to crumble, and that's what we've seen here. Misfits in the first half just couldn't get it going. Relying on individual skill, we did see a bit of it, but losing the pistol in the second half as well, that's going to seal their fate for me, and that's a nice little gap here. Do they know he's going to be on the other side? They might get mowed down here.
Oh, this feels very risky for DCT, but I mean, maybe it'll be worth it. They're going to be walking in. They do line up. He hits 2 big kills, and he's going to be falling back in. That worked perfectly. Very interesting.
Yeah, it doesn't get much better than that, really. He should go down here. There it is. Now we have an opening. Can they do anything about this? But the boost is almost perfect. Go to the boosted player, surely. There it is.
Tats is in fairly long range. I feel like that's become a position that people peak a lot, but it's still really effective,
Yeah, absolutely.
Just adding another angle to the bomb site, and there's Cello picking it up 16-4 there. Taking them out very quickly indeed, Hank. I mean, what can you say about that?
That's what I wanted to see from Payne this morning. We did talk about Brazilian playstyle on the analysis test, saying they've got their flamboyance and they're going to be very good with aiming. And now we actually got to see their T-sides as well. Great executions, great teamwork. They seem to know how to shut down that B-bomb side very effectively as well. Misfits is not their map pick. We know they're a mixed team as well, so I don't think we take too much away from this. Hopefully going forward into their map pick, they can kind of get themselves together and show maybe they are more skilled across the board. But for now, this is looking very dominant.
Yeah. Was theirs train?
I think so.
That's also not, I mean, I wouldn't say that's like a mixed map either. It's going to be terrible.
But we did see them get stomped 16-1 today on that map.
Yeah, maybe that's, I was still thinking, I think that's a sketchy reason for picking it, but
we'll see. You've got to have something, right?
Yeah. Luckily, we do have some expert analysts on the desk, so take it away for us, James.
Thank you very much, guys. We do have some experts here on the desk, one of which is Chad, and Chad said he had a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I'm just going to shut up and let him talk.
Okay. Go.
They've definitely redeemed themselves there. The brand of Counter-Strike that they were playing early on was fantastic to see. They basically looked like they had just groomed Reddit for the last year and looked at every little nice flash or boost or smoke that someone had found when they did that boost to check heaven from the backyard of the B section. I thought that was a very nice touch. You don't really see the big top teams doing little things like that. Every player had nice little moves and pop flashes that you don't see every day of the week. They have their own little take on ways to approach certain situations. Even busted out the Astralis B execute on overpass, which I've highlighted many times before. It's a very powerful tool. And then they had really in it. I don't know actually if I will go that far. It's just looks like they have grabbed executes from everybody that they've seen in all different ways, and they used it in many different facets, and that was fantastic. On top of that, obviously the players needing to find their footing and find frags, and they didn't really have too many problems doing that. Is it DZT? Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
He was quite an impactful player. I think he geared up towards the end and going into the second half and following through on that second half. He looked relatively effective. And the way that they moved around executes. Misfits did have executes of their own on the T side, but you could see, smokes were being thrown down to negate the plan of said executes. And if you go back to, I think it was the first gun round on the second half, it was a B execute coming in from Misfits, and what the Pain guys did really nicely was put down smokes and play in the smokes to make that execute basically useless, close down the territory and use those UMPs to their advantage. So all in all, I'm very impressed with what I've seen.
I like that wall bang. Are you done, Chad?
Yeah.
I thought you did lots.
Well,
we're not even done the replays yet.
That was quite good.
No, that was good.
All right,
So
fine.
Misfits, having watched Pain Gaming go 16-1 down to Cloud9,
Yes.
Misfits are going to be so disappointed by this, right?
Yeah. Here on the screen right now is the innovation I was talking about from the strategies. I think that's really cool. You get full long control, which is quite easy to do on T-side nowadays, and then they completely isolate and just take that whole bank side, which I think is really cool. But yeah, Misfits are well and truly in the bin, right? I think the fact that they're a mixed team is showing. They're getting picked apart. Starting on the CT side on a map like this and only grabbing 4 rounds is relatively poor. It shows that, hey, Pain actually do have structure. They do have the players who can make the frags necessary, and they're no slouches. People might have been a bit critical of me. It's my job to be an analyst, Matthew, and the fact that I didn't know a lot about Pain might say a lot about me and how serious I take my job, but I would travel a bloody lot. And it's hard for me to cover every single team in all of Counter-Strike. So the Muppets out there making some sub-tweets, you got to watch yourself because I'm coming for y'all.
Literally the one person.
Yeah, it doesn't
Chad
matter.
triggered.
Yeah, well,
that guy wins.
And do you think then...
If you kill your enemies, they win.
that's true. Listen to Anders.
Yeah, Justin Trudeau, actually.
No, but Anders...
Yeah, but Justin Trudeau's smarter than Anders. So.
Not as beautiful as Anders, though.
Oh, I mean, they do call him like the dreamboat of Canada.
Who, Anders? He's from...
No,
He's from
Trudeau.
Denmark.
Trudeau.
Okay, sorry. Same
Listen,
colour
I know
flags.
you don't agree, but it's Trudeau.
Oh, God. Jesus. Okay. Right, let's go straight in to the Mummy MVP. Let's find out who it was. Desertinho. So DZT,
Yeah.
Desertinho.
Yeah, okay. So it was a little bit confusing there if you're looking at the top right when a few of those frags are being made, but there's a decent little impact rating right there. I really like the retake post-plant situation one there in the bottom right. That's the big one for me because that means if it is a close game, how much impact you're having in those situations. Entry frags were covered by trade kills and opening kills. If you actually read the definitions for these terms and how they're used in this impact rating, it's ones for either side. Well, at least that's my understanding. One's for CT side, one's for T side, right? So it covers, Matt. I know it's not the terminology you might like, but they cover the T side and the CT side. You look a bit stunned.
I'm a bit confused now.
That's all right. I
thought
can
had
show
it
you the
figured out and
document.
everything's wrong.
I can show. Yeah, no. Everyone
I don't
has.
really like to read.
We need to define the terminology. I think that's the next step for us.
Us, me and you.
Well, and maybe Jason.
We can build
He's
a
not doing anything
lexicon.
right now.
We can build a lexicon. We'll put it on Liquipedia.
Let's do it. But yeah, all in all, I'm very impressed.
Yeah. We're going to see if they can do that in the second map as well. But first, we do have an interview with Relics from Misfits, as they are just one map away now from potentially going out of this minor. So let's see what they had to say earlier on.
Ribbit.